We are back with the Entertainment and Sports Spotlight podcast. Thank you for tuning in and joining us today. Wow, right around the corner, we're not that far away from the new year and the new you mindsets. The turn over a new leaf, try something different, go out to the gym, do some working out. And our guest today, the Pro Maker, is very experienced in being that kind of support for you because sometimes it's hard to get out and get to the gym. It's hard to work out, especially if that's something you don't like doing, like me. But our guest today is a former sprinter and is an amazing coach. They coin now as the Pro Maker. We want to welcome today Clance. We're really thankful that you were able to pop in and talk to us a little bit about your experience in the athletic world and your journey to what program and company that you've got now. And then you guys have a book coming out, or that is out, I'm sorry.
It's all, yeah.
So
Oh, no.
thank you so much for taking the time.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, a little bit about me. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. My journey, I start off like anybody. Grew up in my first passion was bodybuilding. My dad brought home a magazine, and I seen this guy. Actually, not a magazine. Brought him a photo of this guy. He was big and all this muscle, and that's got me hooked. And I didn't know anything about weights. I started doing push-ups and training myself. One day I went to the library. I never forget it. I looked at Sports Illustrated. I was the type of kid I love to read Sports Illustrated. I read a lot. My mom was very strict about education and reading, but I go to the library and spend hours. And I read this article on Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was a football player for Georgia Bulldogs, running back, all-star. And this guy didn't lift weights. He did push-ups. He was doing 1,000 a day. So I was that crazy kid. Say he did 1,000, I'm gonna do 2,000, and I worked my way up to 2,000 push-ups a day. I would do 100 clips at 100 at a time. And so I do 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 at night. I got strong. I was running track. I was good. I progressed pretty fast. I had a great work ethic. That was my strong point. Make a long story short, I had a career-ending injury in Indianapolis in the 4x100 meter relay, and that injury tore all the ligaments in my knee, and that injury sent me in a tailspin. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was in a dark space for a while, and what happened was I said, okay, what if I can't be an Olympian, I could produce pro athletes and Olympian. And that's how my strength and conditioning career began. I started doing my studies, studying anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, neuromechanics, traveled the world, interned with some of the best coaches in the world. I ended up interning with Charles Poliquin, world-renowned strength coach. I became the director of Poliquin Performance Toronto. And the rest is history. Right now, we've produced NHL stars, Norris Trophy winners, Olympians, world champions, Commonwealth Games champions, Pan Am Game champions, Grey Cup champions. So what we do is we pride ourselves on building dominant athletes, and that's my passion, that's my love, and making our athletes mentally strong. You mentioned the book Dominate. That's what Dominate is about. It's about a lot of the gimmicks, the pitfalls, and what it takes to build a dominant athlete, because there's so many gimmicks out there, so many misinformation. It's hard for the parents to navigate that. And the funniest thing, a lot of executives love that book, and that surprised me. So it's a crossover. Is there anybody in life who wants to have a positive attitude, mental fortitude to dominate whatever they're in? It's about discipline, consistency, and never giving up and believing. That's why we have this can't stop, won't stop mantra in our facility. And we believe in yourself and if you have passion, and if you compound that passion with purpose, you're unstoppable. And people one of the misconceptions is that success is a straight line going up. And in my experience working with the successful athletes, successful executives, success is a constant battle of up and downs. And the ones who are successful are the ones that never give up. They have this faith, they have this belief in their gut that they're gonna get it and they're gonna win no matter what. And it's that mental fortitude. And what we do, we call that the can't stop, won't stop. So whatever it is you love, whatever it is you believe, get at it. Forget about those naysayers. Don't let anybody put limitations on you. Keep them away from you. Be polite, be respectful, but navigate them. And because the problem is sometimes those people are closest to you. They could be your parents, and it could be your wife, it could be your best friend. Because my dad, when I said I'm going to become a strength coach, he thought I was crazy. He looked at me with two heads. How are you going to make a money? How are you going to make a living with a strength coach? How are you going to raise a family with becoming a strength coach? Well, furthermore, what is a strength coach? Yeah, that's my journey in a nutshell, man. So I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I'm here on a podcast with you, speaking about my life and my journey. So I'm doing something right.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. And it's amazing that you turned a very difficult situation into a way to minister to other people. You took a difficult time and you went to find out why you had that injury. What caused that situation, because you had done everything right. You had followed the book. So you knew that there needed to be a different approach to things, right? And that's one of the reasons why you went on this journey. You went and studied and did all kinds of things to try figuring out not only what is strength training and how to best prepare the athlete physically, but mentally.
Correct.
And you guys came up with LPS and then, of course, the book. So that's it's a whole different world. Why did you decide to jump into figuring out what happened and taking it as far as you did? What was that deciding factor? What was that turnaround for you?
The turnaround, I didn't realize that you can make coaches who, a lot of coaches that train me, except for one coach, most of them, it wasn't a full time job. They do it after they'd work, they'd work, and then they coach you after work. I didn't think it was something at that age as something viable. I didn't think I can make a living off of it, right? But when I got into it, I said, I'm going for it and I'm going to make a living off of it. And I wasn't thinking about injury prevention at that time. But once I start getting into it and understanding the biomechanics, the anatomy, neuromechanics, I realized everything for me was speed, power, and strength. But I realized not my coach's fault, what they didn't understand about durability or injury prevention. And now injury rate, we have the most, there's more money than there's more money in sport across than there has been ever before. We have more data than ever before. We have more injury. We have more specialists, doctors, performance specialists than ever before. So why is the injury rates going up year to year in the NFL, in soccer, in baseball, hockey, you name it?
Mm-hmm.
The injury rates are going up. Achilles tendon ruptures. You have kids that their dreams are being ripped apart because they're having these injuries at young ages that never used to happen before. Like Achilles tendons rupture is criminal. With that, it triggered something in me because I didn't. The athletes that I trained, I want them to realize their dreams. They're working hard, making this sacrifice. I want them to realize their dream. I made it my. It's not sexy. Athletes they don't care about injury prevention because they believe it's not happening to them. So it's not even something I communicate. But I build my athletes with a solid foundation to be durable. It's just part and parcel of my training system, right? PK Subban, he was like an Iron Man. He won the Norris Trophy. He was win the Iron Man, and he had a freak accident that he had missed one game. Iron Man was somebody who plays every game and so on and so forth. He almost broke the record.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I build my athletes, with that foundation. But they don't care about that injury prevention. They want to get stronger, they get faster, they want to get more powerful, they want to be the best on their team, they play their position. Can't if you can't do that, you're not you you go to athletes, start talking about, oh, I'm try to help you prevent injuries, try to help you have a longer career. That's already in their head. They're not get injured, they have a longer career. It's almost taboo. But that's always been my thing, because I took it personal, because that's what happened to me. And I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't know what I was doing. My goal was to make the Olympics and play professional football. That's it. There was no, oh, if I don't, I wasn't a part-time athlete. I was full-time, all in, no backup plan, no, oh, I'll go be an executive or work on this or working this field. No, that was it. That was my life. So when that was ripped away from me, it was hard, man. I was depressed. And when I finally came out of it and realized this is it, it was a no-brainer for me. It was natural.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And let me tell you, we are fired up to have you here. Your likes, your subscriptions, your shares, every single one of them is a game changer for this program. This show runs on pure passion and self-funding, so your support keeps the lights on and the cameras rolling. You're not just watching, folks, you're part of the team. Keep that engagement coming, because together we're taking this show to the next level. Now here's where you come into the game. We want your suggestions, potential guests, topics you're excited about, stories you want to hear, industry professionals, friends in the field, subjects that fire you up. Send them all our way. Your input shapes this show, folks. The ball is in your court, so let's make it happen.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And when you're dealing with the people that you're working with and your athletes, how do you keep them from cracking under the pressure with how much demand, intensity, being an athlete, especially going to pros? It's not it's not a physical game, it's an emotional, mental game as well. How do you teach someone to turn that intensity on and off if needed? How to lock in without burning out?
That's a very good question. You have some athletes who are just born with that mental toughness, that never give up, that can't stop, won't stop. But that's a very small percentage, believe it or not. I have to do a lot of work with athletes mentally. I'm tough on them. I make training hard. My gym is the type of gym, if you're happy to come to the gym every day, you ain't training hard enough. Imagine what that type of gym. If I see athletes coming in smiling and laughing and high-fiving every day, oh, you're not working hard enough. That should tell you. How do I get athletes to commit? I've had athletes training with me for over 10 years. How do I get athletes to commit to that type of intense off-season after they've been through a tough season year after year? Not everyone lasts. They understand that, and they believe that make them better. And that takes a lot of communication, a lot of love, a lot of tough love, and a lot of gifted athletes. They don't do well with that because they're used to everybody kissing their ass, and that doesn't work in our gym. Everybody has to work. Everybody has to work hard. And our gym is competitive. We have to find ways to make them for you to compete. Why do I do that? Because life is competitive. You may go to your sport, hockey or camp. You may not win your position this year. You have another young kid who comes out who's more talented, is going to beat you out of your spot. That's going to beat you out of your money. Training at my gym, I've always believed it has to be tougher than the environment they go. It has to be tougher than camp. It has to be tougher than the season. That's how I build it. It's not by talking, but it's by nurturing, communicating, letting them understand why they have to suffer. It's not easy. It's very difficult. But that's been the secret of my success.
Yeah.
So our culture They're athletes mentally tough. You have to understand it, and that's why they call me the pro maker, because I do better with kids. I build them that way. If you're already a pro and you come to me as a pro, we usually clash because the pros are already being treated a certain way, or they've already made it. They made their money. A lot of pros can't deal with that type of stress and that type of and the demand I've dealt with. I don't need this, but they're already. I work better with those kids who are hungry or have the potential, but don't necessarily have the mental fortitude or the attitude or the mental grit to go at it, to handle what comes to them. Some of my greatest, I would say, my greatest satisfactions came from athletes. They were athletes who, for whatever reason, had another career, but they take a bar exam and it was difficult. But they said, "Clance, your training." They sent me, I remember this kid sent me a gift with a card. I still have it. He said, "Clance, I would never have made it through this exam process if it wasn't for you." Oh, so parents to say, "Clance, what did you do with my son? He's a gentleman. He's respectful. He's accountable. He cleans his room. He's a different child. What have you done?" Those are things that I'm most proud of. I remember one time I was training Joe Ward. He's an accomplished pro. He was on his way out of the league. And in this business, you got to understand, the athletes that most strength coaches get are athletes who are trying to get into the league and athletes who are trying to stay into the league, stay in the league. Those are the kind of athletes that are most respective to type of coaches, me, very demanding and tough. And I remember, I'll never forget, somebody wanted to franchise us, and they had a we were building a big facility. That time my gym was a small facility, and they wanted to make a second location, 10,000 square feet, bells and whistles and food delivery, everything. It was posh and sauna, showers, amazing. I was all excited. Joe Ward, he played for Washington Capitals at that time, with Ovechkin, and he said, "I'll bring him through." And he goes, "Man, Clance, this place is amazing. It's amazing." And he looked at me and said, "Clance, I'm a millionaire. I get treated this all year. When I come back to you, I come back to get a reset. I get a reset to get that hunger." Because my gym was hard. It was mean. It was aggressive. It was everything in my dreams in my gym screamed work. And it wasn't about if we get a job, and that job is for us is okay, we get this athlete, the job is to produce this result for this athlete by this time. That's it. I don't care how long it takes, whatever it takes, we do it, period. If it's overtime, the coaches got to work or I got to work, that's what we got to do. We're going through this whole thing, getting all the papers signed, and they're looking at and they're trying to, "Oh, Kenneth, can you cut this time? And could you do you think we can shorten this time?" I go, "No, the result is the result. We produce." So I can see basically what I'm trying to say. They were trying to focus on the money and trying to focus on get these athletes in, make this amount of money. I go, "No." So I ripped up the contract and I moved on. That communication with Joel Ward never left me, right? It made me realize I was on the right track. That's who we are. We're about culture, we're about developing habits, and we're about results. We get a job, which to make this athlete better, and we do what we have to do to get the athlete to the best of their ability by the time they're ready to go to camp. And Joel Ward appreciated that. He didn't need any bells, he didn't need any whistles. And I said, that stuck to me and said, that's what we do. So that's all part of, he loved the fact that he's got to come back to the grind, that mentally tough gym. So that's a long-winded answer, but I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah, no, that's great because sometimes you need a little bit of tough love to get back to what you do love. It helps you appreciate the game again.
Mm-hmm.
You learned a little bit from mentors. What did that teach you as far as coaching and the style exercise program? How did that influence it?
Oh man, Pierre Waugh to me, he's my second father, man. I wouldn't be the coach I am today without Pierre. I'm in Montreal now. I came to see Pierre. He's 75 years old, and I had breakfast with him this morning. I haven't seen him in a long time. So it's so funny you brought him up. He's probably the best coach in the world that nobody talks about. He is strength and conditioning. He is weightlifting. He loves it. We're sitting at breakfast this morning talking 3-4 hours until they kicked us out for brunch about new methods. 75-year-olds still thinking, still working on different strategies and how you can optimize, how you can make athletes better. Meeting him, it was amazing because he helped me through education, through mentorship, through how to dealing because he's a beautiful man. He's a kind man, but he's tough. He demands work in his nice way. He does it. It's amazing to watch him coach. It's amazing to how he produced such great athletes. He worked with Georges St. Pierre. He developed a tremendous amount of athletes. One of the best coaches is, in my opinion, the best coach in Canada in his time. And I learned tremendous, and I commend him or give him credit for the athletes I've built.
That's amazing. It's cool that you got that connection with him. It sounds like it's very personal. You guys are brothers, and it's a good time when you get together. But that's always a nice memento to your friendship.
Yeah. So it was good seeing him. I haven't seen him for a long time.
That's cool. I love that. What do you feel with the training that you have gotten is the biggest lie in the fitness industry today that might be hurting athletes? Is there one?
Oh, where do I even start, man?
It's a tough one. That's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question. We have our basic. The biggest thing is that what I understand is these kids coming out of university and just being coached is that there's so many things, but if you train like glass, you break like glass. And that's the biggest thing. What these coaches are not preparing the athletes for the forces of their sport. What does that mean? Okay, the athlete has to train heavy, right? Activate motor units, train heavy so the body can withstand heavy weight loaded properly at a proper progression, means slowly based on technique, is safe, which prepares the athlete for the forces of their sport. That's number one. Okay. Then you have speed, rate of force development. Speed comes to that. That means you have to train the athlete to produce high rates of force, power, quickly and explosively. But they also have to receive those forces at high speeds, at high rates. Tendons, ligaments, muscles, everything has to be working together as a unit. The problem with this, and to deal with those forces, the problem with this industry is what they try to isolate, compartmentalize, separate these things. And another problem is they don't train to full range of motion. You have people who go heavy or go home, which is also hurting athletes because it's not just go heavy. It's going heavy with proper technique to full range of motion. When I say full range of motion, I'm talking to the range that the joint will allow, right? So if you're doing a bicep curl, for example, you curl all the way to the top and all the way till the elbow extends. That joint has to be able to deal with that load over the full range of motion. So that deals with your ankles, hips, knees, shoulder girdle, the whole body. That's how you have to train. If you follow those basic principles as a strength coach, you're ahead of the game. That is probably one of the most, that in a nutshell, that's probably one of the most upsetting thing. And that is because these principles are not being executed or honored. It's hurting a lot of athletes. And what's happening is basically the athletes who are just naturally durable, naturally gifted, right? because you're going to have athletes. They're the ones that are going to survive and have athletes who have a chance, right? With the proper love, proper training, they don't get a chance. They get injured, right? Because you get to a certain level, they start treating them like glass. They break like glass, doing all these kind of stupid, nonsensical exercises that don't even transfer to their sport, right? I can go in. I've been battling with this for years and years and years. It's just frustrating. And that's why I wrote a book. And you have these gimmicks, ladder drills, and these stupid things, all these little gimmicks about getting athletes faster. I'm going to quick feet. You go through a ladder. And I don't know if you know ladder drills. They do that a lot in football and soccer. Mm-hmm. And that's supposed to make your feet faster. That's nonsense. Complete nonsense. All your brain is smart. It's going to make your feet faster going through that pattern because you learn that pattern faster. How does that apply on the field in soccer? Stopping, starting, kicking, running explosively to the ball. How does that apply in hockey? How does that apply in football? You're looking down at a ladder and moving. It doesn't. They don't understand the principle of specificity. The principle of specificity is being destroyed, eroded. Being in the gym, I cannot make you a better soccer player, football player, hockey player. What I can do is make you more powerful, stronger, faster, explosive. Okay? That's what I can do. Period. Now you have to take those qualities that I've made better and infuse that into your sport. Those skill. And when you do that, everything is better. If you have good skill, guess what? Your skill increase because the rate and the power and the force and the strength that you're applying that skill on the ice, on the field, on the court got better. Tennis, baseball, you can hit the ball harder. You have quicker feet. You can move faster to the ball. Am I making sense? It's nonsense. It's crazy. You have all these sports specific coaches doing all this nonsense and it's ruining kids. It's a cash cow because parents don't know. They don't understand. And the parents that actually found me were ex-athletes, the best athletes that I have, like Denzel Clark. No, his mom was an ex-Olympian. She saw all this nonsense, she found me and brought him to me at a young age. PK Subban's mom, ex-track athlete, brought her son to me at a young age. These were ex-athletes, moms that have some knowledge. What about the mom or the dad who have no knowledge in sports backgrounds? Mm-hmm. They're totally lost. They're just being sold because at the surface, it makes sense at the surface. And to be honest, I got fooled with a lot of those gimmicks when I came into the strength and conditioning.
Yeah, because parents don't know. And that was actually one of my questions is what are some of the things that parents are doing for their kids that are getting into the athlete world that is so detrimental? And they're not doing it purposefully, right? They're doing it because they are listening to all those gimmicks.
I think one of the things is they're getting their kids to specialize a little too early.
Okay.
What I believe as kids, the athletes that I've built that made pro, for instance, they hockey. Let's use hockey, for example, because I trained a lot of hockey players. The hockey players that work with me that made pro, they never went to a summer training camp, ever. Guess where they were in the gym training all year, all summer. In the gym, getting stronger, getting faster, getting more explosive. They didn't go all the way to these cash grab hockey camps. These hockey camps are it's ridiculous. Listen, if you're good, the scout's going to find you.
Right.
What happens when you get away, when you if you don't work on your foundation, getting stronger, getting more explosive, getting faster, getting more durable, ligaments, tendons, because as you get older, the kids are getting bigger, they're getting faster. Your tendons and ligaments have to deal with those forces in a contact game where the speeds are high, like hockey. Guess what? You're going to be more susceptible to injury. You're going to be pretty much fragile, right? And hockey is starting to come back around because the Florida Panthers are killing it with their aggressive style, smash mouth type of hockey. All that pretty shit goes out the window when it comes to playoffs. Panthers ain't about that. And they won 2 Stanley Cups in a row? With that old school type of hockey, fast, aggressive, just smothering type of hockey. All that pretty stuff is gone. What am I saying is that your kids have to focus on getting strong. Strength is important. They have to focus on being durable. They have to focus on speed and explosiveness and power. Work on your skills. That didn't say work. That never stops. PK used to shoot 300 pucks a day and go skating while training, and the players. So they would work. That's their summer job. Shoot, work on their skills, and get stronger, faster, more explosive. Not these stupid camps running around doing all this stuff. So a lot of these little gimmicks that take away from the foundation. Your foundation should be getting strong. And before you hit 16, you should be, I believe your kids should be in multiple sports, doing multiple things, building that big base. That big base makes them more athletic. So they have better proprioception, coordination, timing, being aware of their body in space. You're all around better athlete. Then when you hit 16, you start to specialize, and all those motor patterns start to focus on your specialized sport, which is going to make you well-rounded and better. That's the key. So I have an 11-year-old now, and I have a 12-year-old. They do all kinds of different sports, and no specialization. My daughter, she's a Commonwealth champion, Canadian record holder, Commonwealth Games champion in Birmingham 2020, broke records. She's rare. She didn't really specialize in anything, but she started late 16. She just did weightlifting, but that's not normal because she just didn't know what she wanted to do, but she knew she wanted to become an Olympian, but she didn't really take on any sports. That's not normal. The biggest thing the parents have to do is give the kids variety, because they will get burned out. B, they won't build the necessary resilience. When I talk about resilience, muscles, tendons, ligaments, structures to withstand stresses and forces, mobility, all those things that are needed when you use. That's why I love gymnastics. Any athlete who comes to me with a foundation of gymnastics is amazing, because they have amazing relative strength, amazing body awareness, amazing flexibility, dexterity, and so on and so forth. That's an example of GPP, even dance for females and things like that. So build a foundation when you're young. As you get older, when you start to hit 15, 16 years old, that's when you got to start specializing. Parents, this is a long-winded answer to say parents specialize too early.
Got it. No, that makes a lot of sense. Get some cross training in there, and what you're saying about gymnastics. Those people, I mean, like gymnasts have a full body strength, flexibility, and that is true. You've got to do that cross training to get all of the body ready to go.
Exactly.
I actually appreciate that comment from my little bit of training that I've ever done in my life. But
Thank you.
it's very true. So through Raise the Bar Foundation that you work with, you actually are working with underprivileged athletes and kids through that, right? How are you enjoying that?
I love that, because it's my way to give back.
Yep.
Coaches help me, so I want to put that forward. So, and I've developed some athletes who became pros through that, and they give back, right? So a lot of athletes who may have that talent, they don't have the support, and because they don't have the financial support, they can't pursue their dreams, and that's sad to me, right? As long as they have the work ethic, they have the character, Raise the Bar is here for them. And so I that's what I want to be my legacy, because to become an elite athlete, it's commitment, it's dedication, it's focus, it's your life, and if you don't have that support, the percentage of that dream becoming a reality drastically drops. There's a saying, part-time athlete, part-time results.
Oh, that's very true. And it takes a village. It takes a village to help get you to that next level and to have that support system.
Exactly.
So I appreciate the fact that you do that, because I know so many kids they've got to appreciate that, especially coming from somebody like you who's been there, who's done that, who's not the person that can't teach, right? Person. They've actually been there and gone through it all.
I remember I qualified for the championships in California. And I come from a single parent home. My dad couldn't afford that, man. So I was going nowhere. But guess who came up with the money? My coaches. Plane ticket, room and board. I never forget that. Those are the things that I know how that made me feel, that somebody believed in me, my coach believed in me, and I don't take it for granted. So those kids with the right character are the ones who will benefit from Raise the Bar. I don't tolerate lazy and lack of character individuals. So they have to meet that criteria in spades to be part of Raise the Bar. Because at the end of the day, we want to build good humans, and we want them to give back to the next generation.
That's perfect. It's very true. Speaking of giving back to the next generation and looking back, was your book a letter to your former self as to what and how to overcome some of the pitfalls of athletes and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew this when I was training. I don't blame my coaches. They know what they know, right? And it was a letter to myself. If I only knew, if I could only do it again. But as my mom said, this is my blessing. This is my calling. This is what I was meant to do. I graciously accept the fact that working with me, I've changed many athletes' lives to becoming better humans and helping them achieve their dreams. So this is my calling. It's my purpose. So it is what it was. My path was already chosen for me.
I love that. That's perfect. Is there any last words of wisdom you'd like to share? I've been running down here how we can work with you a little bit, but if you would like to share how we can support and help and find you, feel free.
Well, since we're talking about Raise the Bar, for sure, we definitely love anyone who's passionate about helping athletes that need the help. We'd love to if people can donate to that. But for me, my word for people, they got to believe. And we were talking about this before the podcast started, was if you are passionate about something, truly passionate, I thoroughly believe that they should go for that passion, hold on to their passion, attack their passion, have faith that they will succeed, regardless of what the noise and people are saying. And I think that's very important because that's what I had to do. A lot of people, when I said I'm going to become a strength coach, and like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, the gym that I have now, oh, you can't do it. Well, I'm doing it now. I've been doing it. I'm doing it. I hate when people put their limitations, because a lot of times when they're trying to tell you the so-called smart route or the right route, that's their lack of confidence. That's their lack of passion. They don't have that purpose. They wish they had that drive and the commitment that you have to attack your dreams, your passion, your goals. That's something that really drives me crazy. And that's the thing I tell my kids and I tell everybody. Go for your passion. Go for your passion with everything you got. And I guarantee you'll be successful. I guarantee you.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Anybody who's ever tried to push down their passion ends up back there somehow, but it's a longer route. It takes more bumps in the road.
You're
If
right.
you're passionate about something, go for it. And you can make money off of it. And it can be a huge ministry, influence, whatever it is.
Yeah, because the thing is because it's hard. It's hard because whatever you're passionate about usually is probably not the most mainstream, sexy thing that the most many money maker, lawyer, doctor. I told my dad I'm gonna become a strength coach. What's that? You can make what are you talking about? It makes no sense.
Yeah, but you
But
did.
yeah, and my point is that when you're passionate about something, it's not work. when you're going hard and going after your dreams, it doesn't feel like work, and you're gonna give it everything. And the creative juices that flow because you're passionate about. And normally, when you're passionate about something, I think about my my job or what I do 24/7. Is I never shut off. My wife goes, "Can you chill for a second?" No, I can't. I can't help it. I'll be in the shower. I can do this and I can do that. And what if I do this and move that? That's because I'm passionate. I love it, right? And when you have that, you're going to win. You have a regular 9 to 5 job. After you can't wait till the job is done. You're checking your clock, and I'm a big believer in going for your passion.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your passion with us. And it's been a great pleasure to have you with us today. And guys, thank you. Please follow and support the channel, but also please reach out to Clance as well. He's got his information that's been running here. He's shared it. So find him, see how you guys can support on that end as well. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close for the day. Thanks so much, Clance. Appreciate it again.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.